Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm putting together tonight is going to be about two things. Okay, the video that I put out last night, as you all have seen, was the interview between Bret Baier and Kamala Harris. I was going to put out another video with some information that I had came across on the video that I put out the night before last on Reid, but later on that night after I dropped that video, I came across some information that I need to clear up on a video that I put out a few days ago, where I did a reaction to one of the Sean Ryan episodes with the two men that were on that were talking about how they were rescuing people in North Carolina. So when I came across that, like I said, I was going to do a follow-up on that last night, but then I found out that Bret Baier did the interview with Kamala, so I went ahead and did a reaction on that instead. So tonight I'm here to put the video together so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But also, there's the second part to the video is going to be two facts. Well, I shouldn't. Well, how can I say? It's going to be about two things. One thing that Reid said, and one thing that Kamala Harris said. Okay, that totally that are total lies and contradict what they're saying about Trump, and something that was said by Reid about Trump and that guy that they arrested in California. At the rally over the weekend, I believe it was, where he showed up with guns and supposedly fake passports and stuff like that. So as I go along, I'll explain what's going on. Okay, so the first part to this, I need to clear something up because Sean Ryan took it upon himself to clear it up himself. Okay, if anybody remembers the video that I put out, this gentleman here was on saying that he was there to do search and rescue, okay, up in North Carolina. Now he says that that they filled up a plane of supplies for Kamala Harris to do a photo shoot, and that the plane never left. So that is true, okay, but some new information has come out that the plane supposedly, okay, did leave, not that day, the next day. But for some, and this is just my opinion, I'm not trying to rank on Sean Ryan. I love his show. I've been a subscriber for a very long time. I'm not saying he's getting it wrong. I'll show a video real quick after I say what I got to say so you guys can hear it for yourselves. But what I find strange is that this man was called and told this information. He goes and puts it out. And then supposedly the very next day or 2 days later after this interview, I don't know the time frame, so I'm not trying to get it wrong, but supposedly he was contacted by certain individuals and said that what this man said was a lie, that the plane did leave, but not that day, because supposedly that day, that plane, I'm assuming after they loaded it, something was wrong with the plane that they couldn't get it off the ground, so they basically had to get another plane or something to that effect. Me personally, I'm not saying that I don't believe Sean Ryan. I just find it strange that after this man came out, okay, and said what he had to say, that all of a sudden military officials, I believe it was the National Guard, came out and shot that story down. Okay, so I'm gonna play what he said, and then we're gonna go to the follow-up video that Sean Ryan put out to explain in further detail. So with that being said, here we go.
Also from that video, I started getting a lot of messages like to my Instagram from like actual like aircraft commanders, like squadron commanders.
No kidding.
I had a squadron commander from North Carolina reach out to me. They had to load a C-17 full of supplies just to take a photo op for Kamala, and they never sent the bird.
Wait a minute, what?
They loaded an entire C-17 full of supplies for the hurricane victims just for Kamala to go there take a photo, take a video, and they never sent the C-17. It was
Are
just
you
a photo.
serious?
Yeah, that was a National Guard, North Carolina National Guard unit. That was a 06 that reached out to me. And then I had another.
He reached out to you to tell you that they did a photo op and with the intention of never sending.
Never sent it. It was just a photo op. The day Joe Biden flew in to Asheville, they had to put up another temporary flight restriction over like the entire airspace there. There wasn't an exact time. It just kind of said from like I think 11 to like 4 p.m. or something, and it wound up being I think from 11:30 to about 3:30 or something. But by him coming there, he actually.
Okay, so I'll stop it there because now he's going to talk about the part with Biden coming and how they had to put everything, all kinds of flights or whatever the case was, on hold for about 4 hours. Now, you heard what the man said. You heard that he said that they loaded up a plane to do a photo op or video, something like that, with the intention of not sending it off. Okay? So, and it was funny that when I was making the video of Joy Reid, that I wanted to follow up on something like that night, just by me scrolling in my feed, the video that Sean Ryan put out after this pops up. So I'm gonna play that video. We're gonna listen to what he has to say, and then I'll put more thoughts into it. Here we go.
I have to set the record straight on something. There was some misinformation put out on my podcast.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop real quick. I apologize, people. I'm gonna repeat it again. I have nothing against Sean Ryan. I love his channel. I love his content. I've been a subscriber. I've always watched him. When I put my video, I said that when I put the video out that I dropped, I said that this man was on the up and up. Okay, that he does not do anything like nefarious, if I remember the words that I put out, or something to that effect. That in other words, he doesn't do things to get clicks. He really puts out hardcore information. Okay, so I just want to set the record straight. But since he had to put this video out, I feel compelled to show it also, so you guys can see it in his words. But at the same time, I still have my personal opinion, like I said, which I will put my thoughts into this. Okay, and I'll leave it at that. I totally agree with everything that he said. I really do, because just like him, I myself, when I started my channel, was to spread awareness. And if the information that he got afterwards, if he feels that it's 100% legit, then okay. I'm not there. I don't have information like that being given to me. I don't have the credentials or anything like that, to even get anywhere near something like this, to find out who's telling the truth or not, especially on a high status when it comes to like the National Guard, the military, whatever the case is. So with that being said, me personally, I believe everything that Sean Ryan said, okay, and I totally believe his apology. But now I got to put my thoughts into this. Listening to that man, okay, tell his story, the way it rolled off his tongue, him saying that he was notified by somebody in the National Guard that told him X, Y, and Z, okay, and then the video's put together and it's put out. Now, like I said, in no way, shape, or form am I knocking Sean Ryan, but a couple of times in the video, every time they were giving him information, especially about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, if you remember the video, he went and whoever was standing on the side, I guess his producer, whatever, he was telling them, find that clip, because they were going to add it to whatever, I guess, whatever video they want to put together. So even with all that, then everybody that knows my channel knows me, I start thinking outside the box. Then he gets information after the podcast dropped, the video dropped, that was not entirely true what that man said. Okay? Now, whoever he spoke to did say that the plane broke down, they had to reload it on another plane, and they sent it the next day. Okay, is that a possibility? Yes. All the guy said was that he was told that the plane was filled with supplies for Kamala Harris to take a photo op with the intention of the plane never leaving. But listening to what Sean Ryan had to say about the information he got afterwards, that was a lie, they said, or he was told, that the plane did break down, the supplies were put on, the plane left the next day. But he did not say if the people that told him that information, that's supposed to be true because it's on a flight log, they didn't confirm to him, because he didn't say it. And like I said, I'm not picking on Sean Ryan, it's just something that I picked up that makes me wonder, did they even say if it was true or not, if Kamala went there just for a photo op? Now, if she went there just for a photo op, that pisses me off. Okay? If the plane didn't leave, that pissed me off too. Did the plane leave? Now he's getting confirmation that yes, it did leave. Okay, so I could exclude that. Now I'm not mad at that. But the one thing that popped up that pissed me off was the fact that she went there for a photo op. Whether that plane left that day or the next day, I think everybody's anger, besides the fact that supplies have been blocked, is the fact that Kamala Harris went there for a photo op. On top of the fact, okay, what happened with Joe Biden when he went there and then lied on camera saying that they got what they need, they're happy. I wonder if anybody from the military is going to, or from the National Guard, is going to contact Sean Ryan and tell him, yes, if it's true or not about that incident with the president. So I just wanted to put this out. Like I said, I am not trying to badmouth Sean Ryan at all. I love his content. I will always keep watching. He's always been a straight up dude. He, like I said, he gets people on his podcast. I mean, you know, credible, legitimate people. This one instance where one guy who's out there, before even Kamala got there, he was out there trying to help people. And then he gets information about the incident with Kamala, and then after the video drops, then he gets notified by the National Guard to just clean up that one story. I'm sorry, I have to question that. Okay? And believe me, like I said, I am not trying to get any kind of bad blood on YouTube with any content creators. I am not blaming Sean Ryan whatsoever. Like I said, I commend him for what he did because it's true. You want to put out content that is true. You don't want disinformation, especially with the left, always saying that people on the right are putting out disinformation. Okay? And in fact, I can honestly say, from me watching him for so long, I think this is the only time that I know of that this man has had to come and retract some information on the video that he dropped. So kudos to him. But me, I have to question all. That's what I'm saying on my part. But I just thought that I will let everybody know how this is going, because I put a video out I did a reaction video. If anybody goes onto Sean Ryan's channel and sees, you know, the retraction that he did, I don't want anybody coming to me and be like, you're putting out disinformation. No, it's not like that. I'm putting out what was said. It's changed. I am here to on Sean Ryan's side to show what he had to say. Okay, but as far as me personally, I find it fishy that man put that information out, and then all of a sudden, Sean Ryan gets contacted by the National Guard. Now, I don't know, like I said, when it comes to military stuff, I mean, all these guys, you know about, you know, the ins and outs about military procedure and all that protocol. It could have been from somebody, you know, legit. I don't know. All I'm saying is that this is the way I think. Okay? And if it's true, if it was that the plane broke down, then okay, I get it. And you know what? That's a good thing that it just broke down and they reloaded another plane and sent it. But if this was just to cover up on Kamala's behalf, this is where I have a problem. This is where I have a problem. Because he was told that no, the plane broke down, they reloaded another plane and sent it, but they didn't clear up if it was true or not, if Kamala went there just for a photo op. That right there to me, like, draws a red flag, for lack of a better term. Okay? But I'll leave it at that. Kudos to Sean Ryan for clearing this up, and putting out the information he felt that he had to. Like I said, if anybody wants to watch his content, just go on his show. You won't be disappointed. Believe you me. I mean, just by him putting out this information, this statement, to retract information, should show you enough of what kind of a man this is. He is a stand-up dude. Okay? He truly is. So, with all that being said, now we're going to go on to, and if anybody read my title and my thumbnail, this is the part of the thumbnail where I said, where I put down that Kamala and Joy Reid lied, but I'm gonna set the record straight. This was for me to set the record straight on this, but I'm also going to set the record straight with something that Joy Reid said and something that Kamala Harris said during the interview with Bret Baier. Here we go. Okay, if anybody remembers the video I dropped with Joy Reid and her little tantrum that she threw, listen to this. Well, everybody seen the meltdown that she had. Listen to this one segment of something that she said in particular. Okay, and you'll get where I'm going at with this. Check this out.
And you have the recipe for a fascist America, not just in 2025, but in 2055. Things are so bad. The House is refusing to come back into session to provide new additional hurricane aid. While at the same time in North Carolina, an armed man was arrested for making threats against FEMA workers, while federal aid workers had to pause working and move because of reports of armed militias. Fueled by Trump and other Republicans' wild hurricane disinformation threatening them.
Okay, now you heard that. Okay, North Carolina authorities arrest armed man after threats against FEMA workers. Federal emergency response personnel directed employees operating Saturday in hard-hit Rutherford County, North Carolina, to stop working and move to a different area because of concerns over armed militia threatening government workers in the region, according to an email sent to federal agencies. Now, you hear the way Joy Reid's putting this out. Okay, let me play a little more, see if she's got some more to say, and I'll get to what I'm trying to explain here.
At this point, you can't call what Trump is running a campaign. As friend of the show David Korn points out in Mother Jones.
Okay, so I'll leave it at that. What she's basically trying to say is that because of Trump's rhetoric, okay, there are armed militias out there. This guy is over here threatening FEMA workers and all that, without understanding all the tension that's going on in North Carolina with all the people. The whole thing with what was it, the Washington Post putting out this statement about concerns over armed militia. You know, these people are trying, whoever is stuck out there, they are armed and they are trying to protect whatever's left of their property and where they live. Okay, if they're out there armed, okay, it's because they're trying to protect themselves. But leave it up to certain entities to go and blow something out of proportion, and then Joy Reid is going to come out and just salivate over this article clipping, especially where it says armed militia. Okay, now this came out when I put the video, but this came out 2 days ago. Okay, but then doing a little, not even doing research, just watching the way the news pops up. Okay, this pops up. Okay, which was actually 3 days before she put out her statement. Okay, and this came out on CBS. So I'm going to play this so you guys can hear it. Here we go.
All right, so I want to take you back to that promised breaking news, new details over reported threats against FEMA first responders. So authorities say they've arrested a man in connection with these threats that paused some operations in North Carolina, operations and outreach. CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga, we talked to you earlier talking about the problem. Now you're back on the stream talking about what the response is. What can you tell us about who was arrested?
Yeah, Reid, an update here. Authorities in North Carolina have arrested 44-year-old William Jacob Parsons of Bostic, North Carolina. We have the mugshot there. Parsons was arrested and charged with going armed to the terror of the public. He was armed with a handgun and a rifle. Here's what happened. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says this arrest was made after deputies were alerted around 1 p.m. local time Saturday that a white male had an assault rifle and had made a threat about possibly harming FEMA employees working after Hurricane Helene and that disaster in the Lake Lurie and Chimney Rock area. Those deputies alerted officers with the local police department and other agencies helping in those relief efforts. That is when FEMA made the decision to issue its stand down to officials. And again, just want to reiterate here that search and rescue efforts are still underway and that FEMA's disaster relief doors are still open, but there was a decision made not to go door to door at that time. Now, Parsons, the suspect here, was later identified by police and transported to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Detention Center Saturday, where he was charged and received a $10,000 bond. He made bond. He was released Saturday evening, while police had initially heard reports of an armed militia. After further investigation, it was determined that Parsons acted alone. And I spoke with Captain Jamie Keever with Rutherford County's Sheriff's Office this afternoon. He told CBS News that local law enforcement remains on high alert right now, but that their office is not aware of any additional specific and credible threats connected to this one. Of course, in this information environment, there are concerns that conspiracy theories and bad information regarding recovery efforts could spur further threats, but really relieved to report that at this point, the Sheriff's Office believes that the suspect acted alone. Reid?
Okay, so you heard all that. He acted alone. He was released on bail. The police got reports from God knows who about armed militias. They basically can't confirm it. Although if you want to say that the people out there that are arming themselves, the victims, the residents that are standing by, whatever property they have left are armed and you want to consider them a militia, then fine. But this came out, this report came out, so nobody thinks I'm lying, okay? CBS put this out 3 days ago. The report with Joy Reid that I just played, where was I? This is it right here, MSNBC. This is their website. This came out 2 days ago. So who is in lockstep here to lie? Because CBS put out their report, but then Washington Post puts out this report, okay, and then Joy Reid puts out her 2 cents on it. But you heard from CBS, okay, that police authorities were notified, but did they say anything about that there are armed militias out there? No. They never once said that they were notified and they have confirmed that there are armed militia members out there in North Carolina stopping FEMA and everybody else from doing their job. They didn't say that. That's not what the news reporter said. Basically, it was put out, the guy was released, they probably released him, okay? Because even though they said that he made threats towards FEMA workers or whatever the case is, they probably said, you know what, he's not a threat, because maybe that's not exactly what it all is. Maybe the guy's upset for what's going on and they found the guy with a handgun and a rifle and he's out there trying to protect things. Maybe he did threaten somebody. We don't know. Okay? But I highly doubt that under the circumstances, if he was a credible threat, that they would not have given that man bond to leave. So until that's cleared up, why 2 days after, okay, or a day after, okay, did the Post, or maybe they did it the same day, okay, and Joy Reid feel compelled to come out and just keep going along with this narrative that the Washington Post put out about federal emergency response personnel directed employees operating Saturday in hard-hit Rutherford County, North Carolina, to stop working and move to a different area because of concerns over armed militia threatening government workers in the region, according to an email sent to federal agencies. Did anybody hear any of that information on the video that CBS put out 3 days ago? Because I didn't hear none of that. In fact, I kind of heard the opposite. Something that they felt that, you know what, it's not a concern. They're still going forward with their efforts to help out the victims. You see? So you have somebody like Joy Reid putting this out, and of course she tries to tie it all into Donald Trump, saying it's because of his hateful rhetoric or whatever kind of rhetoric, his disinformation that is riling people up. Disgusting. Totally disgusting. Okay? Now, do with this information so far, with the two topics I just covered, what you will. I said my piece on with Sean Ryan. Like I said, I'm not going to stop watching them. I'm thinking a little different, but that is my opinion. You guys can do the same. Think of it the way you want. I mean, all I know is that, you know what? I look at things outside the box. This right here tells me, it just keeps solidifying the fact that Joy Reid is a hateful person and cannot look at something reasonably and just say, wait a minute, let me get information myself. No, she just keeps going with a narrative, and in my opinion, that's what they're doing, because they're trying to keep spreading this narrative of hate and trying to point fingers and project it. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because you guys seen the video I put out last night with Kamala Harris, okay, and Brett Baer. Now we're going to get to the good stuff. Okay, and I think it's very important for people to see this and understand, because it pretty much pertains to everybody and anybody. Here we go. Okay, when I heard Kamala make this quote last night, or whatever, just make this statement, I should say, last night, I brought up the fact of people to go onto Langley Outdoors channel and check out a video he dropped a few days ago about something that basically you can just say the Biden administration did, because obviously this had come from the top. But I want everyone to listen to what she has to say, and then I'm going to play the clip from Langley Outdoors so you guys can see for yourself. Okay, I've already showed what Joy Reid is up to. I mean, it's disgusting the way this woman just keeps, you know, I mean, if it ain't race baiting, it's stoking hate. It's keep pushing a fact that there's going to be a civil war. This is what the right wants. This and that. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Listen to what Kamala has to say. Check this out.
Supposed to be a
So
cakewalk
are they misguided,
for
the
anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the phone.
Okay, you heard what she said. That Donald Trump talks about the enemy within, talking about turning American troops onto the American people. Those were her words. You heard it. This is not edited. She's saying that that's what Donald Trump has been saying. Has Donald Trump been saying that we do have enemies within the government? Yes, because it is true. We do have enemies from inside this country, born and raised. They want to see this country just be destroyed from the inside out. Okay? Did he ever say that he wants to turn American troops onto the American people? No, he never once said that. But she's claiming that he has. Okay? Now, I don't have to show the clip of Brett Baer, because you all seen it last night. You can watch it again. You already know where that's going to go, because he goes and he fact checks her. Okay? But she stands by her words no matter what. Now get ready for this. Check this out. Okay, so before I play the clip, shout out to Langley Outdoors. This is his right here, Langley Outdoors Academy. It's called. So go on his page, show him some love, join his channel, give him a thumbs up. He put this out, this video out a day ago. Okay, I actually seen it the night before last, and last night was the interview with Brett Baer and Kamala Harris. So you heard what Kamala Harris had to say, that Donald Trump said about the enemy within, that he's going to turn the military, to turn their guns on U.S. citizens, yada, yada, yada. Okay? Listen to what Langley Outdoors. Now, Langley Outdoors, his content, it's all about Second Amendment rights. So he's always on the up and up. From every state, he is always putting out information of laws that are coming out, laws that are being hidden, laws that are trying to be repealed or, taken away from people's rights. He is on this 24/7. Okay? But look at this information he puts out, and if you go on his video, on this particular video on his channel, he says he left the link in the description. I'm assuming so you guys can do your own research on this topic. But check this out. I'm going to start off where it says, this was put out by Zero Hedge, and it says, U.S. military now authorized to kill Americans on U.S. soil? ? I'll let him take it from here. Here we go.
Alright guys, so I'm going to walk through this like a normal video. I'll jump into the comments here in a second, but I want to lay this out for you. Because I had a healthy dose of skepticism on this when it was given to me as a tip, but I looked into it. This is from Zero Hedge. U.S. military now authorized to kill Americans on U.S. soil with a question mark. Okay, I'm intrigued. It's a question mark. Let me just walk you through, and then I'll show you the documents that I found, which are going to give you a little bit of a heebie-jeebie. Gonna be fair. Just ahead, intriguingly, of the November elections, the U.S. military has granted itself permission to unleash lethal force on the civilian population in cases of national security emergencies. Okay, you have my attention. Let me show you through this highlighted point what they're accusing from this article, then I'll show you the documentation. This is actually all tying together in a not cute way, all right? Bear with me while I read this for you guys real quick. As the U.S. prepares for one of the most controversial and closely watched elections in its history, election time, you guys know that, 3 weeks away, make sure you vote, a concerning update to DoD Directive 5240.01, remember that number, has been quietly put into effect. Reissued on September 27th, 2024, so a week ago, this directive governs the Department of Defense's intelligence activities and now includes provisions authorizing lethal force in certain circumstances where assisting civilian law enforcement. While the directive forbids assassination, because that would be a step too far, it opens the door to lethal interventions under the national security conditions. The reissuance of the directive that numbered, while the update might seem routine, the changes regarding the use of lethal force in domestic operations are significant. This is the part that I had to check out for myself because I almost didn't believe it. In 2016 version, the directive primarily focused on intelligence collecting and ensuring civil liberties, protections for U.S. persons. I like civil liberties. It emphasizes strict oversight and the need for authorization before collecting U.S. person information, so like, warrants and stuff. However, the 2024 version expands the military's role, particularly in assisting civil law enforcement, and authorizes lethal force under specific conditions, raising questions about its use during potential civil unrest surrounding the election. Okay,
did you guys catch that so far? If all this is true, why? First of all, if all this is true, how ironic that they're going to put this out, and why? Okay? Do they actually think that, let's just say we have a repeat of 2020, that now the best way to handle it is to go and, in order to, break up the crowd, to start mowing people down? But yet, it gets better, okay? It gets better. But yet, like I was going to say, Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump is stoking fear, saying that there is an enemy within. Really? That's the first part. that I have to say to that. Let's go.
So what the Zero Head article here is referencing and accusing is that there's been language changes from the 2016 to the 2024 directive for the Department of Defense saying that now they can assist civilian police and they are authorized to use lethal force, and that's the change. Well, we're going to jump over to the 2016 directive because it's all public record, and I want to make sure I show you guys this thoroughly. Again, everything's linked. I always bring receipts.
Yep.
As you can see, the DoD manual for 5240.01, that's the number that I was telling you to remember, procedures governing the conduct of DoD, Department of Defense, intelligence activities. And as you can see here, August 8th, 2016, cleared for public release. So this is all public information, all right? Now, a funny thing happens when I Command F this, okay? Watch this. Lethal force. There's nothing found, as you can see in the top of my browser. When I go over to 2024's version, DoD Directive 5240.01, same number. DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Again, September 27, 2024, cleared for public release. This is all public data. But when I go up here to this lethal force thing, the exact same thing I just did for you in 2016, look at that, one match. Yeah, bear with me. I'm gonna actually hide this so you guys don't get sick real quick. No, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it legit. Keep it 100. You'll have to get sick. Sorry, I gotta go down to page 12. I was gonna hide it, but that would make questions about the credibility of this. So as you can see, under 3.3 levels of authority, it's Secretary of Defense approval requirements. Okay, well that's an executive appointed position. Okay.
Did you guys hear that? The Secretary of Defense is an executive appointed position, meaning that this information, this decision, basically came from the top and was given the green light from the top. But yet, and I'm going to say it one more time before we continue with this, Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump is spreading disinformation, okay, or whatever the case is, saying the rhetoric that he's spreading, saying about defeating the enemy from within, okay, and that he's going to turn the military onto the American people. Those were her words. Okay, more or less. Go back, you hear exactly what she said. But that's basically what she's saying. But now this, okay, was put out September 27th, which was what, 10 days ago? Where are we at? We're at 17. All right, almost 3 weeks ago. Okay? Why? Why did they change something? But look at the changes they made to the document from 2016 till now.
Let's get into this a little quick. We got 1, 2, and then we got A through C. The Secretary of Defense may approve any type of requested permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2. The decision to approve requests for these types of permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2 to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities are reserved to the Secretary of Defense. And this is the part that gets the entire hackles up. Part C right here. I'm just going to highlight it really quickly for our review. Assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that the providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. Here we go, right here, listen to this part. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force must be in accordance with the whole DoD thing, potentially as further restricted based on the specifics of the requested support. I'm going to undo this really quickly and do that last little important part right here. It includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups are reasonably anticipated. What do you think they're referencing right there?
Mm-hmm.
It has a 6 behind it. So now...
Did you guys catch that? When he says, what do you think they're anticipating there? It has a 6 behind it? J6? Another crowd? People not liking the election results? So when Kamala Harris says that Donald Trump said which he didn't, that he was going to sick the military onto civilians. How ironic that she would say that, but yet 3 weeks ago, okay, the Department of Defense, okay, changes this around, and like I said, obviously had to get the green light from an executive position person. You know, I'm not putting this out here to scare anybody. I'm putting this out so people can remember to stay vigilant. Okay? First and foremost, to keep praying and to stay vigilant. Trump again was right. There is an enemy from within.
The entire accusation of the article that I just showed you from Zero Hedge checks out. Now, what does that actually mean? I don't know what it means. But I can tell you that's a little concerning and a lot of power in the executive branch with a new change to a DOD standard operating procedure about 3 weeks before an election that was quietly changed from where it never used the word lethal force in 2016 to now using lethal force in 2024.
Yep.
Yeah, I got some concerns. That's kind of what I want.
Now, this is the part that, just from what he's saying, you know what? I'll see what I gotta say. Let him finish.
To get to. This was a full-on a tip from my Twitter account. So one of my viewers actually sent this to me. It's been verified. I've got everything linked. I've shown you everything. They made a pretty significant change, guys. So do with that what you will. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you one thing or the other, but I can tell you 100% guaranteed the change is actually real. There's a linked article for Zero Hedge. I looked up the DOD documents, and now lethal force is in them where it wasn't there before. Please send this to everyone you know, because it just might be someone you know is important enough to make a change, because that needs to not be in there. Just me.
There you go. Okay, I'll leave it at that. What bothers me now about this is everything. Okay? Especially, again, I'll say it again, the fact that Kamala Harris went on last night with Bret Baier and told him that Donald Trump, okay, is just spreading all kinds of disinformation, whatever it is that he's saying. And she's over here saying that he's over here saying about taking care of the enemy from within. Okay? That he's going to turn the military onto the American people, which he never said that. Okay? And then when he was asked that question, he flat out said no, that he would never do something like, why would he do something like that? It makes you wonder, people. And if you haven't thought about it, it should make you wonder. What the hell are these people thinking? What are they up to? Why? Forget the why. We know the why. But for the life of me, it's like, how do people not see? The people on our side go and look for information like this and stay on the up and up. What bothers me is the people on their side, the actual ones that really don't want any kind of violence, because there are a lot of Democrats out there that, like I said, that are leaving because they didn't sign up for stuff like this. But there's going to be some just like them that are going to stay. So then what? Donald Trump gets voted in. If another summer of love happens, we all know what I'm talking about. Does that mean that the DOD is going to go out there to assist the police force, and wherever they see that there is a threat in these crowds that are rioting, they're going to open fire on them? I said it once, I'll say it again. Everything the Democrats touch turns to shit. This is insane, people. This is insane. But this was part of the video. I said that, you know what? I'm going to say my piece about Sean Ryan, and then I'm going to show you guys two other things. One from Joy Reid, one from Kamala. How anybody on the left could listen to these two women and don't even have an open mind to look at this and say, wait a minute, let me rethink this, is beyond me. It truly is. Because I'll be honest with you, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would not be voting as a Republican. And I mean that. If this was happening, and I'm not talking about the Rhino Republicans, I'm talking about people that I voted for. If they were up to something like this, it's just too sickening to think about. Okay, I'm not saying that I'd vote Democrat, hell no, but I just wouldn't vote. I'd be ashamed. I really would be ashamed. But as it stands, this is happening on the Democrats' watch. Okay? And a few weeks before the election. You got people suffering in North Carolina. Joy Reid wants to go on a tangent, just trying to spew information out there about armed militias. When I showed you the CBS video, that wasn't even the case. Okay, it was just rumored, no hard evidence. The Washington Post wants to start the article, Joy Reid wants to finish it, blame it on Trump. And then Kamala Harris has the nerve last night on national TV to come out and say that Trump is talking about defeating the enemy from within, and that he's gonna sick the military onto American citizens. Last I checked, he wasn't president yet. Okay? He's running for president. The ones that are in charge, this is all on them. This is all on them. From the lies that Joy Reid is putting out, the hate that she's putting out, to the damn lie that came out of Kamala Harris's mouth last night about what she said about Donald Trump. That's it. Those are the facts. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Also, I'm leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign. If you guys can go and help him out, it'd be gladly appreciated, even if you leave him words of encouragement and prayer. Also, do your homework, people. Okay? Everybody pretty much has a computer. If it's not in their pocket, it's on, it's on a tablet, it's on their desk, whatever the case is. Look up more information. If it's going to make you, feel better, to really, check it out for yourselves, I encourage people to do that. Okay? But at the same time, you can't be afraid. Okay? Because and I have to say it like this, okay? A lot of times people send me information and stuff like that, or I see things when I'm watching videos about, it could be about UFOs and this fell out the sky and this is going on and everybody's talking about it's the end times and this and that and that and this and we got wars. Scripture says that there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. That there's going to be a lot of things happening. It has to come to pass. And me personally, what I think it is to see who is going to cower in fear and who is going to stand strong and vigilant. Because if we have to live our lives listening to every single thing that somebody has to say and put a warning label on it, we would never leave our houses. Society would not function. Okay? But at the same time, while you're out there, you still have to use your head. People are going to get pissed off, and it doesn't matter which side, people will get pissed off, but we've noticed a pattern that on the left, they keep pushing this rhetoric, and it's mostly people on the left that are doing the hurting. Okay? A lot of people on the right are saying that, and I've heard it and I've seen comments and stuff like that, you know, people, and not on my channel, okay, but on other channels that I'm reading comments, people say we need to do this, we need to get armed, we need to do that. Listen, I always say it doesn't matter whether we're going through this or not. You should always learn how to protect yourself. But my point is, with the way Joy Reid kept talking about, you know, civil war, this and that, whatever the case is, you can't feed into what they're saying and doing, because me personally, I feel that's what they want. They want the right to jump first. And not even jump first. They just want them to jump, period. So like that they can go and point the finger, and then their plan of total control comes full circle. Okay? Or at least 3/4 circle. Because in the end, they're not going to win. They want to win, they're trying to win, but they're trying to do it by hook or by crook. And that is not being a good person. If they keep saying that we're good people, we're the party of love and acceptance and this, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because I would like to know who in their right mind decided to give the Secretary of Defense the okay, or anybody, okay, in Washington to make changes to this law or whatever it is, okay, that would include using lethal force against anyone. Unless they know something we don't, unless they think that there are American terror cells in this country, which I don't doubt, but something tells me this was not put there for that purpose. I just have to say it the way I see it. I don't believe they put it there for that purpose. So everyone needs to be very, very careful. Okay? Everyone needs to be very, very careful. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, keep praying for this country, pray for your enemies, pray for Donald Trump, and don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.